All right, welcome back to Follow the Money Radio, friends. Great to have you here. And as usual, we're joined by one of our good friends and a longtime financial advisor, Mike Mitchell. Mike, it's great to have you on the podcast today. Thanks for joining us.
Good to be here, Jerry. Excellent. Good times are happening all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and right now, especially in the world of finance, many people are just having a tough time. I mean, I got to say, you've been doing this for quite a long time. We have a question I want to talk about, but I got to say, these are unusual times with the inflation fears, but then also the war that's going on. And then we also have all of this money printing that we've experienced. It's enough to confuse a financial advisor, let alone somebody who doesn't know anything about finance. What a wild time this is.
It really is. We get lots and lots of people who are searching for answers every day, and they're concerned and somewhat anxious, but they're looking for guidance. They're looking for answers, and we're doing our best to give that to them.
Yeah, and well, speaking of answers and questions, we have a question from Sandy G, who writes in from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and I want to address Sandy's question. And I get your take on it. I think Sandy is probably dealing with something that many people are dealing with right now. Here's the question. I appreciate your helpful videos, and I have a question regarding this year's market volatility. My income consists of SSI, I guess Social Security, an IRA, and 401k. So it sounds like 3 income streams there. My advisor recommends a 4% maximum withdrawal each year from the IRA and 401k. Due to the market sell-off, my 4% distribution this year is considerably lower than it has been in recent years. I already took the normal 4%, and I am thinking about taking a little more later this year, but I don't want to cannibalize my account with the markets trading near their recent lows. I need help protecting my annual income level despite market volatility. What am I missing? Any ideas? Sandy G from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. So Mike, I mean, you have somebody here who is clearly playing by the rules. They have an IRA. They have a 401k. They did good getting those things. They have Social Security income. They're clearly already past the accumulation phase. Now they're in that place where they're receiving income from their assets. And they're playing by the rules, that old Monte Carlo simulation of the 4% that's supposed to work out over time. Well, this year, that 4% was a lot different than it was, say, last year or the year before. So you can understand Sandy's wondering, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to take more money out of my account this year? Or as she puts it, it will cannibalize my account potentially. What's the solution here for people who are seeing this market volatility really do a number on their income because they're taking an income from these assets? What's a right way to think about this?
Yeah, we get this an awful lot. We have clients that are calling in with not only the concern about the income going down, but also their accounts are being impacted by the volatility. The accounts are going down. And on top of that, it's almost like doubling down. They're taking a systematic withdrawal from these accounts when it's probably they're the most vulnerable because they've just taken a huge hit. They've just now taken more money out of that account. And now it's going to be much more difficult for the market to recover those account balances and get those income levels back up to where they would like to be. We call this in our practice a sequence of return risk scenario. And there are absolutely some very smart strategies for mitigating this issue. And one of the ways that we do this is we help our clients set up an alternate income source that they can pull from in the event or at the time where the markets may be down significantly. So rather than continuing, as she put it, to cannibalize the account, we actually go to this alternative source of revenue or income. And we bring this from life insurance contracts. We set up life insurance contracts that have cash values in them. Those cash values can be accessed according to 7702, the Internal Revenue Code 7702, they can actually take tax-free policy loans from these cash values. And rather than pull the money from their depleting investment account or portfolio when the market is at a low ebb or a low area where there's been some corrections, they take these incomes tax-free from the life insurance accounts. This in turn gives their account balances in their investment portfolios, whether it's a 401k, an IRA, or whatever. It gives those accounts an opportunity to recover in the market rather than continuing to pull those account balances down even further. So sequence of return defense strategies is the term that we use. And it works exceptionally well because you have an alternative source of revenue to go to in those times when you really need to protect those investment assets.
It's these multiple streams of income. You know, it's having an alternative strategy that Mike is talking about. So, yeah, it is tough. You would imagine that somebody has built up a nice nest egg, maybe in an IRA or a 401k, as the case with Sandy has both. And you take your 4% out, and if that 4% per year, and that's the rule of thumb they tip, stock advisors especially will tell their clients, just take out 4% and that should last you. But again, like Sandy's pointing out, this is not enough this year. And so what am I going to do? Do I cannibalize the account? And as you're pointing out, having an alternative strategy for these types of environments, for this type of volatility, is really powerful. So let's talk just real briefly about what that would look. Is it too late for someone like Sandy to set this up? Is this just something is there anything that Sandy can do now, or?
No.
Okay.
Obviously, if we're talking about life insurance contracts, then health certainly plays a part in that. But a lot of people these days are under the impression that, if they get over a certain age, then life insurance is just out of the question. It's not. Provided their health is good enough to qualify for a life insurance contract, then it doesn't take very long to set up these alternative sources, revenue pools of accessible cash, which, as I said, is also, you can access it on a tax-free basis.
Huge.
It doesn't take that long to achieve some of those revenue pools, to build them to a place where they can do you some good when you need them to do the good the most. And that's obviously when we're in an environment like we are today, which, there's tremendous market volatility going on, and you just need the help in that time.
Mm-hmm. So true. So having another bucket of money, and by the way, with this tax-free loan provision you're talking about with life insurance, you don't have to take the loan. You don't have to take the money. Maybe you have a great year in the market and you take out your 4% out of the market and it's more than enough, and you've got your Social Security check and you're happy. But that year that has a real big decline, like we've seen in 2022, a pretty big down year, this would be a perfect time for Sandy to be able to go and just say, I'm going to leave my stocks alone this year.
Right.
And I'm going to go pull that money tax-free out of this other asset that I have. And then when the market kind of gets back to normal, maybe next year I'll do that. And that option, so many people don't have that, Mike. This is the difference between planning and not planning, isn't it?
Yes,
you have many clients today, Mike, who have this strategy available to them, don't they?
They do. Yes. And having options when it comes to not only money in general, but particularly money in a volatile market environment. And let's face it, there could be some volatility in our tax code coming down the pike in a few years. So, having another source of income that you could rely on that would be tax-free would even be an additional beneficial option to be able to rely on.
Powerful stuff. So if you're listening today, this describes you. This is something that you say, gosh, I need to do a bit more planning here because I'm in that situation that Sandy's, and I'm taking money from my accounts and they're at recent lows and I'm having to take more than I want to. There's another way. There's another way that you can do. There's another strategy that Mike's talking about. Mike, if folks want to talk to you about that strategy, maybe they have questions about it, let us know how they can get in touch with you.
Yeah, we have a toll-free number, and the number is 833-370-0777. And they can call that number and leave a contact information or ask us a question, and we will be getting back with them quickly to help them find some answers.
Fantastic. Well, I know we'll have you back soon on the podcast. I know a lot of questions we've been getting too, Mike, maybe just a tease for the next time, is we've been getting a lot of questions right now, especially with the market the way that it is, people saying, where do you put your safe money? What the money that you don't want to lose, but you also need access to, where do you put it? And so maybe we'll hit that next time and talk about safe money areas for folks. But this is really fantastic. So a really cool strategy today for those of you who are concerned about market volatility and you don't want to cannibalize those qualified plans that you've worked so hard to build up. This is a really great strategy. Thank you, Mike. If folks want to learn more about that, they can reach out to you, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. God bless, my friend.
Thanks, Jerry. Enjoyed it.